Hey everyone, Dan Anton here, and in this video I'm going to show you how we're able to get clients like this on autopilot while we sleep. And you can see in this example here, my brother and partner in our agency, Dan Anton, was able to close a client for $575 a month, which is actually our lowest plan. But considering that we ran the Facebook ad and acquired this customer for about $3, the ROI is quite significant. So I want to show you exactly how we're able to do this. And we automated the entire process. At the very end of it, obviously, this led to Matt being able to have a conversation and a phone call with this person. But the initial setup of the Facebook ad, segmenting them in Messenger, sending an email, piquing their interest, getting to know a little bit more about the customer, until ultimately qualifying them to get to that stage in our funnel, in our process, to know that they are a serious potential buyer, to get us to actually pick up the phone and call them, or them call us, or follow up with email and that sort of thing. And that's kind of the process I want to show you with this. So this was just a post I made where I was, demonstrating. I'm just blow this up here. Where I'm showing that this was the customer that we acquired, Tom, various tags related to this sequence, which I'm about to show you, and then the invoice where he paid. And this again is $575 each and every month. So the LTV, the lifetime value of this customer, is through the roof. I mean, most likely, based on our past history for the past few years that we've been running an agency in this location, we have customers staying at least a year, 2 years. So LTV goes to 4 and 5 figures very quickly. All right, so let's get into the sequence itself. So here is the sequence, and it all starts with, and let me just bring this over here a little bit. Actually, I'll just minimize this. And it all starts with this start if block where the keyword is website audit. So that means that if someone comes into our Messenger ad and they type website audit, then this triggers. But we do something even cooler in Facebook where as soon as they click the ad, they are presented with a little quick reply button automatically that says website audit. And all they have to do is just tap that, and it prompts this entire sequence to take off. So if you aren't sure how to create Facebook keyword ads with SmartEngage, why don't you, let me see, where is it? Check out this blog post here, and I'll put the link in this post and also in the description of the video so you have it. But basically the title is "This Type of Ad Forces Facebook to Flood You with Unlimited Cheap Leads." Trying to get a little some high click-through rate on that, which is working pretty well. But when you actually view this video, it will show you how to set up these keyword based ads so that when they see the ad, all they do is tap the button once and that takes them into Messenger. And like I said, it's already going to have that keyword prompt ready to go. And this video, let me see how long it is. It's 23 minutes long. Whoops. It's 23 minutes long, but I go in, a lot of detail here. You can probably speed up the playback and knock this out in like 7 minutes. All right, so let me just get back into the sequence. So that's how this keyword is even started, right? So once the keyword is triggered, I want to automatically tag them. So I'm tagging them with subscriber website audit interest. And that's just a way for me to stay organized. You don't have to do that, but this is just the way I do things. I'm just going to take you from start to finish the way I do it. Then we're going to go into this first Facebook Messenger block. All right, so this is the first thing they see after typing the website audit. After they click that little quick reply link that says website audit, it triggers this prompt. So it says hello, and then it will use the user's first name. Obviously, I'm the SEO audit bot. I'm happy to assist you. So we're keeping it engaging, blah, blah, blah. The first thing we really get into here is asking for the user's URL, because the ad spoke to them to analyze their domain, their URL, to get an analysis on it. So we have a user input block here where you can see that we're asking the user for a free keyboard input, and the reply type that we want the URL, the user to give us is the URL. Once they give us this URL, we're also storing it as a custom field. We're doing this because we want to attach that URL to that person so we know what domain they have, and we're going to do some cool stuff with that in a little bit. And then I also tag them just to keep it organized. So again, we're asking for their domain name, their URL. When they enter it, we're storing it as a URL with a custom field of site audit, so I know what that user's URL is. All right, and then once they submit that, the message automatically continues. We show typing to keep this to look very, interactive, and keep that going. And then we play around with it a little bit. We have an animated GIF. We say, all right, we're scanning the report. Just give us a few minutes, blah, 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 blah. Give them a little information about what we're doing here. And then, hey, first name, the report is almost done and our system has already identified some key areas to fix for your website. So we're giving them that curiosity, because why? We really want them to tap on their email address. And for someone to give us their email address, there has to be some kind of incentive. Yes, we're already asked for the URL, but we want to make it even that much more enticing by saying, hey, there's some stuff we found with your URL, but we want to email it to you. Where can we send it? Really what we want to do, and what we are doing, is getting their email address, because having two forms of contact is a great way to follow up with users. One, Messenger is what we have right off the bat, but then we want to get them in the email too, because email is more of a long-term strategy to keep following up with people. All right, so you'll notice here that we have the free keyboard input, just like we did above for the URL. If I click on this, you'll see that we have reply type selected as email. The one above was using URL. So in this case, we have email because we're asking the user to supply their email address. And in this case, when they're presented with this option, they will automatically see their registered Facebook email presented to them that they can just tap on. Very simply, one click tap. But we also ask them, you'll see right here, we ask them to manually enter their email address if this is not the best one to reach them, because there are times where people created their Facebook account years ago and they have an old email address no longer really in use, and in that case we want them to enter their correct email address. There's no reason or no need to save anything as a custom field, because the email address will automatically be tied to that subscriber inside of SmartEngage. And I used to have tags here to let me know when an email was added, but it's not necessary. It was a bit of a redundant step, since we can already set up some if conditional filters of if the user has an email address, and we know that already. So that was a redundant step, so I just cut it out. All right, so after they submit their email address, then we continue. We just let them know that we're finishing the report up, and this is where we start getting into the segmentation. And this is very important, because we really want to start figuring out who looked at this ad, who are we talking to. Let the bot do the work for you, and we want to first know, are they an owner of the business, or are they just doing the marketing? Because if they're just doing the marketing, I don't really want to sell them on our agency, because if you're a marketer, you are probably doing the marketing yourself and you're not looking to hire an agency. Maybe you're looking to hire services as more of like a DIY and bring it into your own tool belt, I guess, or toolkit of services you offer. But as far as buying an agency-based service, I need to know how to craft my message. So this is where we do that. So if they say they're an owner, I'm tagging them as website owner. All right, that's important. If they say they're doing the marketing, I tag them as a website marketer. And this is going to help me kind of branch out the messages that I will follow up now. So if they say they're the owner, and let's just click on what that looks like. I let them know just some more text. Hey, great to be talking to the decision maker. And then we start segmenting even further. We want to know, are you brand new, less than 3 years, more than 3 years? So we're trying to figure out, how experienced they are. I don't typically like to deal with startups in an agency, because their budget is usually non-existent. So this helps us kind of know who we're talking to before we start talking to them. So example, if they say they're more than 3 years, we are going to save that as a custom field and set their experience level as greater than 3 years. And again, this is all customizable. If you wanted to change something around, if this wasn't really how you wanted to do things, this is a great template and framework for you to use as a starting point. When they say they're doing the marketing, we take a similar approach, but a little different. Nice to be talking to the person who makes the magic happen, and we still want to get their experience level. And then when it's all said and done, we let them know your report generation is complete. Please check your email within the next 5 minutes to make sure you received it. Right, so we're just letting them know the email is being sent and to be on the lookout for it. Right, so after that, we have a delay block, and we're just waiting 4 minutes. We're just giving them time to complete this Facebook part of the sequence. give them time to tap on their email and that sort of thing. Really, in the back end, the report is pretty much generated instantaneously. Once we know their URL, we can just send them a link to it, and I'll show you that. But first, let me just maximize this so we can really go through the process. I'll make it a little bit bigger. So we just finished here the delay block, and then we have an if conditional block. So this is if the tag exists for a user, and this means did they enter their URL? Did we get their URL from them? Because sometimes people will enter the process and then they'll just stop right there and that's it. They just won't go any further. Maybe they're testing out the ad. Maybe they don't even understand what a website is. Or a domain. Sometimes you ask people, I've had to change the wording. I've asked people to enter their URL and people said, what is a URL? You know, so it's, you know, it's just something you'll get with time and craft your message accordingly. And then I also have another condition that must exist, and that is, do we have an email address? The subscriber type must be an email. And before, like I said, I used to use a tag applied when they tapped on their email address, which was an unnecessary step since we could do it right here, such as this. All right, so if we have their URL and they have given us their email address, then we can send them this email. If that is not the case, then what we do is we go down here and we delay for 25 minutes. We do that because they could be stuck here somewhere. Maybe they went to get a cup of coffee in the middle of this and we've already blown past that 4 minutes. And maybe they're still going to complete the process. So we give them 25 minutes to then check again. And all this is just checking. Let me scroll down a bit. The same type of conditionals, right? So it's just a fallback to give them a little bit more time. But going back up to the email itself, and I'll just pull this up. So we put their first name in the subject because that's going to get their attention, and they're going to have a very high likelihood. Even though they're already on the lookout for the email, we want to make sure that has a super high open rate. So we call them out, hey, Dan, your website analysis for, and that will automatically put in their URL that they gave you. So, hey, Dan, your website analysis for SmartEngage.com is inside. All right, that's going to get my attention. And then once they open the email, they're going to see, you know, we tell them, hey, here's your link below. We found a few things that require further inspection. Our top SEO analyst is going to review your site further. Once we have more information, we will share that data with you. Right, so we're keeping like an open loop of curiosity here because we do want to keep following up with them about this. And if you look here, we have the review report link. All this is a dynamic link that we create, and you are welcome to use this white label link that I have. It's just SEO report.websiteauditserver.com/ and then all we're doing here is putting in the custom field for the URL that they entered. Because if you recall, we asked the user to tap on their to enter their URL, and then we saved it as a custom field. Site audit was the name of the custom field. And the way I did that was, I'll just delete this and start from scratch. All I did here was click on the little man icon here, and I went down to find that custom field, and it's right here, site audit. So it will automatically insert the URL here for every user who's viewing this specifically to them. So Bob has apple.com, he's going to see apple.com. If Joe has microsoft.com, he's going to see microsoft.com, right? And this will automatically create a report that you can show the user. And I'll just, let me pull that white label report up here. Oh, that's just some settings. So here is the report. I've got google.com as this report. Apparently they're only a B-, according to this. But anytime that you just append that URL, that site audit URL to the end of this main URL, which I gave you, this one right here, pull it back up, it will automatically create a report. So any URL after right here will create a nice report that you can just send. So this makes it super easy to send them a report automatically. All right, so they've gotten that email, and then we're delaying 3 hours, and we're then going to check, did they open that email? So we're checking, did the previous block get open? The previous block always looks to either email or messenger or push. These are the communication blocks. right? So if previous block is open, we look to the next one and it's the email one. So if this was open, then yes, we're going to wait 1 day. All right, so that's just taking care of that. If it was not open, then we're going down here to Messenger, and I'll pull this up, and we're letting them know, hey, Bob, did you see the website audit report we sent to your email? Just do a search for your website analysis as the subject, and be sure to check your junk spam folder as well. So we want to make sure that they're getting this email. We want to make sure that they're checking it. So we're giving them another chance to just kind of see what's going on there. After that, we're not going to keep bombarding them with that, because that could go on forever until it, just creates an endless loop of nothing. So after we send them the message, we're putting them back into this delay, and we'll talk to them tomorrow. All right, let me scroll over a bit more. From this point, you really could delete all of this stuff, or maybe you just want to change a couple things, because at this point forward, it's very specific to my agency and some of my software services. Actually, this first one is fine, but you would definitely obviously want to make some edits here, because so this is where that website owner segmentation comes in. So we're checking here, is the viewer now an owner, or are they the marketer? So if they're the owner, yes, they're going here. And if not, I don't have to specify marketer. I already know that the only other option was marketer. So then I send them here. So let's go the owner route. Let's just look what that message is. So if I pull that up, I'm saying, hello again, Bob. I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that your SEO audit report from yesterday got red flagged. So that's obviously creating some kind of curiosity in them right off the bat. Our top SEO expert, Dan Anton, obviously use your name or whoever is working in your agency as the expert to, actually follow up with them, right? So we're letting them know there was an issue with it. Would you like him to provide you with more details? It's completely free of charge, but Matt just likes to make sure the work is going to be appreciated. So again, we're segmenting more to really figure out who's serious and who's just kicking tires here. Because we want to speak to people who are super interested and are ready to, hear what Matt has to say, either through a phone call or a more in-depth video audit website analysis. All right, so the people who say they're not interested, we just kind of say, all right, well, click on that. No problem if you're just looking for the most groundbreaking way to boost traffic to your website. All right, so then we're bringing them over into software type stuff. I've already identified that they're not serious about being part of this agency as a complete done for the use solution. So, in order to really capitalize on my ad spend and get the most bang for my buck, I still want to squeeze as much value out of them as possible with a deep funnel. If you only have one offer, it's hard for you to make money back on your ads, but your ROI can go significantly higher if you have multiple layers of services and offers and cross promotions involved, right? So that's where this comes into play. And I'll let you look through that. I don't want to get too in the weeds with what that looks like, because unless you have software or affiliate products, then that's not going to really apply to you. But let's say that they are interested in, listening to what Matt or you as the agency owner has to say. We can then say, all right, and then we give a little more information. We some screenshots. We humanize this quite a bit. Would you prefer to talk to Matt on the phone, or would you prefer that he just emails you? So if we say on the phone, this is another cool thing where we are able to, if they say that they're going to call Matt, right? We take them into here, and we say, hey, the best number to reach him is below. They can tap on this, and as soon as they tap that, it'll actually bring up the phone number. They can call directly, right? If they want to email or have Matt call them, then what we do here is another user input block, and I'll show you that. So we use the user input block. We did this for URL, we did this for email, and now we're doing it for phone number. So if you see here, the reply type is phone. We're going to save that as a custom field. And when they see this option on their phone or on their messenger on desktop, if that's where they are, they will, again, very much like email, be presented with their phone number and just have to tap it. But we also give them the option to enter a better phone number if they need to, right? So we're giving them options to call Matt, for Matt to call them. We also have options for email, so they can, let's see here. We can have Matt email him, so Matt will get an email based on this configuration, and I set that up with a Zapier, zapier.com, where if this tag was applied, then we send an email from Zapier. And we're going to put in a native admin way to do this within SmartEngage. Just haven't done that yet, but it's fairly simple to just set that zap up yourself. Or you can manually just come in and look at your subscribers and see who's coming in and sort by the tags who wanted to be emailed. So that is really it. And then we say, would you like to see some testimonials, just to sweeten the deal a little bit more. These are all videos that play as they go through. So just some credibility here to let them know that we are who we say we are. We've gotten results in the past for people, and essentially we've taken that cold traffic lead and we've slowly warmed it up by building trust with the report, humanizing it with some pictures, and now ultimately with a phone call, email, and these testimonials. So if we've gotten this far with someone who says they're a website owner, chances are that we're going to have a very good success rate if they have a budget to close them on the phone for a sale. And like I said, a lot of times, the lifetime value of these clients is easily in the 4 and 5 figures. Those of you watching this who already run an agency know the value of getting someone underneath you, because once they are a client of yours, you can then upsell them on other services, PPC, AdWords, Facebook, whatever else kind of services you offer. And once they're in your world, unless you're screwing things up, they should stay with you for the most part, as long as you're doing right by them. All right, so let me just close this out. And that is really the gist of all this. Like I said, the rest of this kind of brings them down into, if they're not an owner, or if they are an owner and they just aren't really interested in hearing us out. So we lumping them plus the marketers together and bringing them into a software funnel where it's like, okay, well, I get that you don't want done for you agency stuff, but I also have some of these software services that I think might interest you because they do X, Y, and Z. And then the viewer may think, well, I kind of need X done. I'm good on Y and Z, or hey, I need X and I need Z. Let me just look at these services. So it gives you more opportunities to make sales out of your ad spend. And that is really the ultimate goal. So this runs on 100% autopilot while you sleep. It brings in cold traffic from the ads, builds trust and rapport, segments, and then ultimately allows you to then make decisions on your follow-ups with email and phone number and phone consultations based on people who are serious. And it saves you a whole lot of time in terms of finding people who are ready to do business with you. All right, so that is the breakdown of the SEO audit report sequence. This same type of flow can be modified, can be changed to suit your needs. It doesn't even have to be an audit. It could be any type of thing where you're sending them something, that they're interested in. Could be a checklist, could be a PDF report, any number of things. But the important thing to take note of here is getting multiple forms of communication, messenger and email. And I've actually even seen someone do something pretty cool where they've stretched out the sequence a little bit, and then after email, they are sending them, I believe, 2 more emails, and they're going to blog video posts where they are talking. And then on that blog video post, they have a push notification opt-in with, I think it's like a checklist or something to download, and they're getting that third form of communication. I mean, that's such a great way to use this. And, I'd always really intended on putting something like that in this sequence as well, but I never really got the proper flow of what I wanted to do with that push notification. And if you're watching this and you're like, what's a push notification? Let me just go to the demo site real quick and show you what that looks like. So a push notification is, where is it? Push notification. So we should see it appear here shortly. So here it is right here. You can see that, and you may have seen these before, but basically if they opt into this, it allows us to send them little notifications that pop up on the side of their browser. On Macs, it's usually in the top right. On Windows-based computers, it's in the lower right. And it's just like a quick little tweet almost, where they can click on it and be taken to whatever URL you want them to. And they can see these notifications no matter what website they're on. It doesn't have to even be your own. And obviously, the initial opt-in, they join. But then after that, if you want to send them broadcasts and follow-ups, as long as they have their browser open, doesn't matter if they're looking at YouTube or whatever their favorite site is, you can send them that notification, and it has really good click-through rate. And again, now we've got 3 forms of communication instead of 1 or 2. Just another way to get the most bang for your buck with these subscribers. All right, that is it, and I'd love to see you guys implement this and make it your own, and look forward to hearing how successful you are with it.